I am actually going to pause the YouTube recording. I'm going to go stand away from the fire so you don't hear the passive fire effects. Oh, I don't have a sit. Okay. I'm going to pause YouTube recording. I'm going to run to the restroom and I'll be right back. Okay, YouTube is unpaused, and I didn't just say it, it is actually unpaused. Yeah, there's a sit emote in Dark Souls 3, but there's not in Dark Souls 2. So what I think I'm gonna do is we're just gonna quickly add 10 to the death counter. And since we know from reading, and really just from doing this challenge, each block between buildings has a spawn pool for these horses. So we're gonna go block by block to despawn all of the horses. But right now we're turning back on our hollow build because it does the fastest work of one-on-one with a horse. And if we lose a fight with a horse, we don't lose anything because the entire point of the build is to have max level hollow. Made it to +1. +32. +63. We're just waiting for that number to stop increasing. It's roughly 10 deaths. '94. +126. 126. Oh, I want to test something real quick. I may jump... I may jump that death counter up by another 10. Oh yeah, I could just hug one of these jars. That's so much better than running off a cliff 10 times. It's slower, but it's better. So how's everyone doing as we continue just to hug this jar? Is there a spot with multiple curse jars? Yes. And it goes faster here. Oh, lovely. Things at work are broken, so I'm waiting for them to fix so I can do work. Okay. And if I get cursed at maximum curse, what happens? Nothing. Okay, cool. In Dark Souls 2 Original, if you got full curse, you died. This one doesn't kill you, it just hollows you. And then in Dark Souls 1, if you got cursed, it, like, set your maximum HP to, like, 30% or some shit. It's a really good idea. Much like Gen 1, Dark Souls 1 had some really good ideas that were never seen again because they were actually really bad ideas. Colin, if you're watching, that one's for you. Your favorite Dark Souls game is full of bad ideas. Is there a sit emote in Dark Souls 1? Because I don't remember there being a patch of sit emote in Dark Souls 1. There is patch of sit in Dark Souls 3. You might be able to squat in this game and I just never picked it up. Where's my pony? Why did I look away from my pony? It's a really good map attached to a really half-baked game. Blasphemer. Yeah, the front half of the game is baked. The back half of the game has, you know, Izalith. Bed of Chaos. Dark Souls 1 really capitalizes on something like 70% of gamers don't finish games. You know, it's for the best, because they're showing their four-legged enemies to be pretty garbage. Horses, terrible. I just couldn't get an opening on that horse. The porcupines from earlier in this DLC, terrible. I don't know where the dodge window is on that horse. It's super late. Also, some of its non-bipedal bosses are some of its weakest. Covetous Demon's terrible. Old Iron King is terrible, but that's because the map for the boss arena is terrible. Scorpion-S, not a particularly fun fight. But not poorly designed. It's just, you know, she likes to dig underground. Though the Medusa boss fight in Earthen Peak is pretty good. And then Dark Souls 2 also has, okay, how you doing, horse? That's how that's supposed to go. Dark Souls 2 has a couple fights where your choices in exploration impact the boss fight. So Lost Sinner is probably the first one you run against, where if you find the key from fighting the gargoyles, which the gargoyles are terrible in both games. No, all three. They're bad in Dark Souls 3 as well. I believe it is literally 1 HP a tick. Clothy ring, maybe? Yeah, you can light the torches in Lost Sinner boss fight. So you can actually use lock-on against the boss. And you can dispel the poison in... I don't have any boss souls on me. So I must have her weapon. Which one would I have taken? Oh, she might have had a spell. I don't know. The Medusa boss fight, you can dispel the poison in the arena. And she's healed by poison, and you are in fact poisoned by poison. And the only one of those I can think of for Dark Souls 1 is the Channeler in Gaping Dragon, I believe. Someone want to fact check that? There's a horse there. Horse wants to fact check it. But I believe the Channeler in Gaping Dragon, if you don't kill him up on the ledge, he will buff Gaping Dragon during that boss fight. Ha! I had a plan that time. It was to get run over by a horse. But eventually we need to play Elden Ring, Colin. It's there, waiting. That man was faster than me. I think it's this way. I was slightly off. But even with the constant getting stepped on by these horses, we're still making progress. We despawn one section of horse. We despawn next section of horse. As long as we have a positive KD against these horses, we'll win. Notice my qualifier was positive, not +1. Maybe I need to go further out. Maybe I was too close to the building. Because it doesn't feel like I've killed 17 of them yet. Or 15 of them, or however many there are. Doesn't feel like it. Okay, nobody in 2 storms. Let's refresh. Oh, Colin, you'll love this one. I don't think I sent you this story. With the new Halloween merchandise that came in with Michaels, there was very clear AI art that was shipped to us. Like, it was a wolf with 5 legs. It was super obvious AI art. And then if you looked closely, you noticed that not only was it super obvious AI art, but they forgot to remove the watermark. This was about a week ago. It showed up on the employee subreddit. And then 2 days ago, we got the recall notice for it. But the recall notice was dated about the same time the post showed up on the employee subreddit. And the recall notice didn't go out until the story from our subreddit got picked up by news sources. I was like, come on, Michaels, what are you doing? You can't play an advert in store saying, where we respect the handmade, and then you stock the shelves with AI art. You can't be doing that. It's bad form. You're supposed to lie discreetly, not openly. Oh, it's definitely like third-party vendor garbage. But the fact that the watermark was still on the piece of the AI generator they used. Yeah, embarrassing. That is correct. We're pretty sure that entire collection is AI generated art, but only one piece, it's the name of the treasure in the Grand Line, has a watermark on it.